there was a video I uploaded, I think it was 2 weeks ago, where, so there is a brother called Brother Asif at Speaker's Corner. Poor guy, like, Muslim abuses him again and again and again, and they're very mean to him. They publicly make lies about him, and then they insult him, they mock him, they bully him. He must love Lord so much that he turns up the corner week after week. So I uploaded a video where Muslims were just, he was asking, who does Allah pray to? But Muslims were like just like out of control. It is a short video. Actually, let me see if I can see what is the name of the video. Let me see, because I want to bring those things to your attention. It's main reason is because my video is still downloaded. That's just very, very, very bad. Very bad. My video should have been downloaded by now, but anyway. Video is 29 minutes 56 seconds. It's called Just Like His Prophet, Allah Praise Speaker's Corner. So it's been uploaded, published on the 6th of July. Okay. I'm not sure if I can put that video on the screen though. Let me see. Let me see if I can do this. I've got lots of things on right now, so my internet might want to say goodbye to everyone. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of put the video just for you to see which video I'm speaking, okay? That's the only intention. This is the video I'm speaking on, okay? So it's only 29 minutes video, 29:56 seconds, so half an hour video. And this gentleman who is wearing a tea towel or kitchen towel or whatever you call that scarf, he's like very, very aggressive and not very nice at all. Insults, mocks, bullies, all those kind of things, and their treatment towards Brother Asif is like very bad. Please, please do pray for him. Apparently, YouTube has been sending me, this is third email Miss YouTube is sending me, because people in that video, exactly the minute where this man gentleman who is wearing this red top kind of uses very, very filthy languages. YouTube is claiming there is a privacy complaining and they want me to take the video down. Does anyone wonder why would someone want that video to be down? 3 emails from YouTube. Someone is complaining privacy and they want me to take the video down. Oh, okay. I don't need to do chit chat anymore because video just downloaded the video, which I was gonna look into it. Okay. Focus now. Okay. Anyway, so that kind of video is not very much loved by certain people. They claim privacy and Miss YouTube wants me to take it down. I checked the YouTube community guidelines and then I looked at the privacy, and I'm not giving anyone's home address. I'm not giving anyone's security number, social service numbers, NHS number, all those kind of things, or even showing anyone's passport. So clearly I have not broken any law in that or any guideline in that. So therefore that video is going to stay. But if YouTube sends me another email on that video, I'm gonna cut the exact timeline which YouTube wants me to take it out and then put it up again. That's my plan. I know it's not very good plan, but that's the only plan I have. So okay, now let's get on and deal with what we were gonna do. So we are going to watch a video from Acts 17 Apologetics, which I will put on the description, where David Wood is engaging with Muslim missionaries. So only I watched literally 20 seconds of that video because someone sent it to me. They wanted me to check if the Uthman's Quran is exactly the same consonantal letters with the different Arabic Qurans. That's the only like timeline they sent it to me. I just listened it, and I become more convinced. This wasn't my view before, but I become more convinced that every time, if the lip of Muslim missionary is moving, you've got to watch out because lie is coming. This is one of those moments. So if you are meeting with a Muslim who just like Moscow, like normal traditional Muslim that doesn't involve with missionary or dawah activities, if you speak with them and then if they make such a claim, that's okay, because what I would say is, I am person doesn't know. What someone who is on the dawah table lying to people and then saying, yeah, we follow the Jesus, blah, blah, makes such a claim, that is intentional taqiyya. So I am sure David would handle him very well, but I'm just like, because it was sent to me, so that's the part I'm going to deal with. But probably I won't be able to kind of control myself and make a comment. Sorry, I'm gently told to stop the live stream, but so what we will do is, I think we just continue and then see. Hopefully nothing will go wrong. Hopefully nothing will go wrong. If something goes wrong and if live stream stops, we will continue, pick up where we left tomorrow. So, okay, I forgot what I was saying, but let's focus on the video. It's from Acts 17 Apologetics, and then we will watch it, pause it, and comment in it. I'm mainly dealing with what clever Muslims are saying. Shameful, shameful. This is like another video, by the way. This is another video. Proves that not only like every time when the lips of Muslims are moving, they're lying, but proves Islam cannot live without lies, If there is no lie, there is no Islam. If there is no lie, there is no Islam. So this is like another example. Let's go with it.
This is a moron, doesn't know what a qira'at is, right? Yeah. Let me explain it.
Are there textual differences?
Let me explain it, bro.
There are textual differences.
Listen.
Textual differences.
Listen.
It's been corrupted.
So you can't listen. This is a problem with him. You can't listen, right? Now, when you look at the Torah, are there different verses? Are there different lines? And I have a whole book on the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Standard Torah and the differences between them. So it is not just that there are different recitations. Now, his father, for example, he recites in Shu'bah and Asim, and somebody else will recite in Hafs and Asim. Those are all in accordance to one Mus'haf, the Uthmani Mus'haf. You don't know that, right? Miskeen, right? But the Torah has actual, from the Dead Sea Scrolls and the other scriptures, actual verses, chapters that have differences, and there are entire books written on that. That means there were rabbis who wrote things in that are not in other scriptures of the Torah. From their hands, they added to it. And that's why there's discussions on what should, even the Catholic Old Testament has different numbers of verses and books than the Christian one. In the Quran, find me one Muslim in the entire world that does not agree that the Quran begins with Al-Fatiha and with Surah Al-Nas. Find me one. One. I didn't think so.
Hang on.
Go ahead, think.
Ubay ibn Ka'b?
Ubay ibn Ka'b radiallahu anhu did not believe that Surah Fatiha ends in Surah Nas?
He didn't have two extra surahs in his Quran?
No!
Ibn Masud didn't have 111 chapters in his Quran.
No, miskin.
Ubay ibn Ka'b didn't say. Ubay ibn Ka'b. Ubay ibn Ka'b didn't
Let me
say that
explain.
there are over
Let me
200
explain.
verses
Let me-
missing from Surah 33.
Not at all. Let me explain
No,
this. Let me
he didn't
explain.
have extra
Let me-
words.
he did not. Let me
He did not
explain
have
it.
extra words.
Can I explain it now?
Well, yeah.
Okay, let me stop here. There was a second when David Wood was like kind of thinking, is there anyone who disagreed that Quran starts with Surah Fatiha and finishes with Nas, Surah 1 to Surah 114? Like, as David Wood was like pausing, I'm just like, no, I'm sure David Wood knows that, but thanks God, yes, he did know that. But did you hear? So Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran is different. Ibn Masud's Quran is different. There are hundreds of verses are missing from the Quran. And like people's hips are being broken. People, like in the time goes on, as people are not going to disagree with Hafs and Warsh, people are ending up in prisons. Yet Muslim missionary simply says, oh, no, no, no, no. So this is intentional lying. So there is a difference between, yeah, some people seriously don't know. But this is the gentleman who believes Quran is dot by dot, letter by letter, word by word, has been perfectly preserved. Yet, he goes in front of giant David Wood and then just simply lies. From now on, every time when you look at this face, remember, his lips are moving, he's gonna lie. His lips are moving, he's gonna lie. So that was minute 148, okay? So we will pick up from there. And good thing is actually David would put all those references, so I don't need to kind of deal with all those things. And David Wood is so patient. I'm not that patient. I couldn't even watch full video because I don't have gift of patience. See what David Wood did? He put the lies from the Islamic source. He put the Islamic sources to confront the lies he's putting together. Muslim missionaries who are ashamed of their Islamic tradition are on the streets and lying. Disgraceful. And of course, I'm not going to comment how he's insulting our beloved brother. Anyway, so this is the part where he says,
Scrolls and the standard Torah and the differences between them. So it is not just that they're different recitations. Now his father, for example, he recites in Shu'bah and Asim, and somebody else will recite in Hafs and Asim. Those are all in accordance to one Mus'haf, the Uthmani Mus'haf.
okay, Hafs Quran, Warsh Quran, okay, all that 37 different Arabic Qurans, apparently, according to Uthman's Quran. I hope all you are right now pausing and then thinking, how can that be? Because we don't have Uthman's Quran. How can that be? There is not Uthman's Quran from Surah 1 to Surah 114 from 7th century, from time of Uthman. While Uthman ordered everything to be burned, the copy he made, and then make more copies and then send it to different cities, we don't have any of them from 7th century. Don't you find that's amazing? A Muslim missionary is saying, oh yeah, this comes from this because we don't have, this comes from this while we don't even have the original. Let me put something on the screen. I think this will be the helpful one. And I will show you the differences between the Qurans. Let's just see, share the screen. Yeah. Okay. Do follow up with me. Please do follow up me instead of like commenting my English. If you read it, If you didn't understand what I'm saying, you will know what I'm saying if you are reading it. Keep your eyes on the screen. I'm saying that in a gentle way. So this is author who put together the Topkapı Musaf, which is not Uthman's Quran, by the way, okay? We don't have Uthman's Quran. One of the most important questions of the Quranic history is the whereabouts the mushafs attributes to the Caliph Uthman, and whether any of them reach the present day. That's an important question. So, where are those mushafs? Not one mushaf, not two mushaf, 4 or 9. It goes up to 9, depends which Islamic tradition you read it. Okay? Unfortunately, we do not have any positive answer to this question. So while Muslim missionary tells us, the Quran, the different Arabic Qurans are all coming from Mr. Uthman's Quran, scholars simply telling us, we don't know what happened to not only the Quran of Uthman, but Qurans with the S, more than one, which was sent to the different cities. In our view, this situation is one of the greatest weaknesses of the Islamic world throughout history. In those strong tower, in those days, they didn't have access to the Nile, so they couldn't bury it in the Nile yet. See the problem? So the Musafs, the Qurans which we don't have, Muslims are so confident the current Quran they are reading, current Qurans they are reading, because he says, this gentleman's father reads the other Quran, they are from Uthman's Quran, which we don't even have it. Why he's saying this? Here's another screen for you to see. Beginning of the Quran. Actually, let me find them. Let me just be gentle. Let me be gentle. Let me be gentle and kind. Even I had a very stressful day. I'm gonna practice my kindness and then show you something. So, I don't know if you are able to see the place underlined. Actually, let me use different color code. Yeah, you should be able to see this. So this is Arabic Quran. Just ignore the holes. Just focus on the Arabic Quran, okay? The part, which hand is this? No, this hand. Okay, the part which is kind of underlined, end of the page, you know what it tells? It tells each letter of the letters of this Musaf corresponds to, is the same as its parallel in the Uthman's Musaf. So the reason Muslim missionary is lying, because he's been lying for centuries, yet he should be doing better homework and then check it out. Okay? This is apparently what it is. In the Arabic Quran, it is simply states that. It's not only that, of course. It's not only that. What also I have here? I've got the Topkapı Musaf. I paid a lot of money for this one. So I've got Topkapı Musaf here. Okay. I'll just give you the overview. It is not the Uthman's Quran. Okay. This is one of the most completed, one of the earliest manuscripts from 8th century, but it is not the Uthman's Quran. Remember, we do not have Mr. Uthman's Quran. Even though they burned it, even they copied it and sent it to many different cities, up to 9, still we have 0 of them. That's the miracle of Islam. miracle of Islam. Not only traditional account tells us there were different Qurans, not only traditional account tells us Quran has been perfectly corrupted, history tells us it has been perfectly corrupted. So I've got the English translation of it, but I'm just going to be kind enough and then show you something. Please note, it is not my work. It is simply Tayyar Altıkulaç's work. I am just a messenger. I am just a messenger. But I am someone who is so convinced, like with that video, the moment lips of Muslims are moving, Muslim missionaries, lie is coming, watch out. Lie is coming, watch out. Sorry, I need to find, I know it's page 87, I think, but I need to find it out. Okay. Yeah, page 87. So Topkapı Musaf, volume 1, page 87. Can you see this chart? Page 1, this chart, page number 1. This page, page number 2. This page, page number 3. 3 pages of charts. You know what are they? Those 3 pages of the charts are telling us how the Uthmans, how these Qurans, the Qurans which Uthmans sent it around, okay, according to the so-called tradition, were different from one another. So, I have to stand up and then read it, what it says. So, Topkapı Musaf, Musaf which was sent to Sham, Musaf which was sent to Basra. Okay, this is what Uthman sent. The Quran Uthman sent to Sham, Quran Uthman sent to Basra, Quran Uthman sent to Kufa, Quran in Mecca, and Quran in Medina. It tells you what are the differences between them. It is talking about the continental differences in here. Okay? When he says, oh, it all comes from the same script, that is moving lips. Watch out for the moving lips. Liars, liars, liars. And that's a compliment, by the way. That's a compliment. And then, of course, Tayyar Altıkulaç is very, very good with the İhsanoğlu. So on the side, you've got the verse numbers. And then tells you what, like you just translate it, and then it tells you what it is. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be double gentle. And I'll just show you one page in the translation, and then we will talk through about it. Move to this page. Let's go to this page. So I did translate it one page. It's not, of course, me. I think this one. I can't remember if my Arabic speaker translated, but I can't remember who did this one. Sana manuscripts destroy Uthman's Quran. Sana manuscripts destroys Uthman's Quran. But let me just show you something. So this is the translation. This is the translation of one page what Tayyar Altıkulaç shows in the book, okay? And then here's the another page. Here's the another page which has been expressed in the book. I just translated them. And they are with the consonantal letters. Remember, in the time of Mr. Uthman, they didn't have the dots. Arabic was like simply just changing, developing, and all that, like Boxing Day leftover dinners were taking place. I'm not a scholar, I'm not talking about the Quran. I'm just simply passing, as I said, I'm the messenger. I am simply passing the message Muslims are saying. Tayyar Altıkulaç is Muslim. He's not only Muslim, he's like İhsanoğlu. They were like, what do you say in English? One of them, İhsanoğlu, wanted to be the president in previous election, and also they are head of Islamic religions affairs in the country. But so I'm just passing their message, okay? In their message, it is them who are telling us consonantal letters are different from one another. Quran, which was sent to Sham, Quran, which was sent to Basra, Quran, which was sent to Kufa and Mecca and Medina, they were different. And did you hear what Muslim missionaries simply said? Oh, it is all the same. Yet, while we are told they are different, we were also told, actually, we don't have the Quran of Uthman. We don't know what Mr. Uthman sent to Sham, sent to Kufa, Mecca, Medina. We don't know. We know he sent Qurans to every provinces, but we don't know what happened to them. There is no earthquake, there is no fire, but miracle happened. Probably Akbar came and then eat them or something. I don't know. Whatever like happened. All I can guess, like Akbar, probably they just become lunch for Akbar. And even in academic world, in academic circle, scholars of the Quranic manuscripts are very much aware that there are differences between so-called Qurans which was sent by Uthman and the current different Arabic Qurans. You've got to think, while Uthman sent 4 to 9 different Qurans to different places, and they had textual variations without the dots, and the words were not there. Like, for example, Mr. Altıkulaç talks about 2,000, over 2,000 textual variations just within the Topkapı Musaf when you compare with the current Hafs Quran. He talks about letter Elif, 800 of letter Elif is missing. Not like 1, 2, 3. Remember, dot by dot, letter by letter, perfectly preserved, but 800 letter is missing just within the Quran, which is not even complete and which doesn't even go to the time of Muhammad. You just wonder why a Muslim missionary would simply move his lips. Every time they move their lips, what they are doing is they're lying. They are lying and they are lying. The book is English, Turkish, and Arabic. So you've got like Arabic and English and Turkish. So you can get all of it. When you even look at the book, you get to see. Let me make it much simple for you. So in the book, one page, you've got the scan of the manuscripts as it is, and then next to it, what it say, and then also the missing letters. Okay, it's like all like kind of, you know, some people like just doesn't. Some people will have learning difficulties and they wouldn't know what the letter say, what it says. So it is kind of put together with people who has got like no basic understanding of it. So Arabic on one side, next side is what the Quranic verse, and then also you've got the place like with the dots and then with the changings, like we can't read it stuff. It's just pretty much messed up, but that's how it is. I was gonna show you Surah Fatiha in this one. so perfectly preserved, just it's just all very much so messed up, like seriously. Anyway, so I really don't understand why would someone make claims which they know it is lie. It's not like they don't know. They know it is lie and they still say such a thing. So let me move to something. So this is the manuscripts I'm talking about. And it's not only Topkapı Mustafa has the same stuff, like other Qurans are the same. Other manuscripts are the same with textual variations after textual variations. Of course, you have to think. So you've got many different Arabic Qurans. Even in today's Arabic Qurans, okay, it's not only manuscripts, but even in today's Arabic Qurans, you have like the words are edited into the Arabic text. I'll show you some examples from the different Arabic Qurans as well. So right now you are seeing Topkapı Musaf with a little bit more details if anyone is curious. So 2,270 textual variations in them. And then I showed you some examples. Where is my example? Oh, not this one. Here's an example, for example, how Topkapı Musaf, which is one of the earliest kind of big chunk of the Quran. It is not complete Quran. How that disagrees with the Qurans which were sent to different part of the world. So therefore, it is a lie when a Muslim missionary states that actually all the Qurans, different Qurans are coming from the same Musaf, Uthman's Musaf. Why it is a lie? Because first of all, we don't have Uthman's Musaf. Secondly, one of the earliest Musaf we go debunks what Muslim missionaries are saying. They should know better. They should be honest to just tell us what is the good news of Islam. They should be honest to tell us, yes, there are problems within the Quran. Why they are not honest? Do they think, oh yeah, the holes which were put together into the Quran, they think they can fix that? No. Mr. Uthman was not able to fix it. Muslims were not able to fix it. In the 21st century, Muslims are not even able to fix it. And Muslim missionaries simply think, oh yeah, we can't fix it. What should we do? What should we do? Let's lie. Let's lie. Because when we lie, our God will be so proud of us. Why? Because we are trying to help him out. His eternal word is being corrupted. And we've been sent, like, they've been lying. And we need to fix that. How do we fix that lie? We lie more and more and more and more. Don't you just love moving lips? Islam dies without lies. Seriously. So let me be kind enough and then show you some examples now. I've got lots of examples. I can go through all the manuscripts and then tell you all that differences between them, how many consonantal difference within them. Let me show you one in here actually. Oh yeah, you are seeing already my screen. Here's another one of the earliest manuscripts. A whole word is being edited into that. Not in that moment. Let me see what you are saying. Yeah, not the moment when it was written down, but later and later and later and later. So perfectly preserved, so much perfectly goes to Mr. Uthman, but it is all lies. The Quran which goes to Uthman, the manuscripts which goes to Uthman, the Musaf which goes to Uthman, screams out, I am corrupted, help me. Help me, Muslims, Allah couldn't help me. I am desperately in need of help. That's what it is. That's what it is. Anyway. Okay, so let's just go to that video. Anyone remembers the timeline I stopped? Anyway, let's go.
You don't know that, right? Miskeen, right? But the Torah has actual, from the Dead Sea Scrolls and the other scriptures, actual verses, chapters that have differences, and there are entire books written on that. That means there were rabbis who wrote things in that are not in other scriptures of the Torah. From their hands, they added to it, and that's why there's discussions on what should. Even the Catholic Old Testament has different numbers of verses and books than the Christian one.
Why this gentleman is having problem with what books supposed to be in the Bible? It is not his business. It wasn't the business of his God. It wasn't the business of Muhammad. Why he is even bringing that up? And if he wants to know which book's supposed to be in the Old Testament, where does he need to go? To the Jews. Go and ask Jews what's supposed to be in the Old Testament. Not only like his lips are moving full of lies, he is already butchering his book. He's already butchering and disagreeing with Allah and his prophet. Disgraceful. Serious, like, I just find that's like, I don't know, like, do you born in that way? Or is it like gift, or you have to pay to take a class to be like this? Sometimes I seriously worry about it.
The Quran, find me one Muslim in the entire world that does not agree that the Quran begins with Al-Fatiha and with Surah An-Nas. Find me one. One. I didn't think so.
Hang on.
Go ahead, think.
Ubay ibn Ka'b, you heard of him?
Yeah, Ubay bin Ka'b. He was not happy at all. He was not happy at all what was in the Quran, and his Quran was different. I don't need to give you the reference. Perfect video was put together by David Wood. Yeah, it's here. And this is like, by the way, just side information. Ubay bin Ka'b is not like someone who just you meet in the mosque. Ubay bin Ka'b is not someone who does book tables, street preachings, and then lies about Islam. Ubay bin Ka'b is the one Muhammad says, take the Quran from. You look up to Ubay bin Ka'b, you take his Quran. What happened to his Quran? What happened to Surah 115, 116? Allah knows, nothing knows best, couldn't even protect that book. Disturbing. Very much disturbing. And by the way, this is the Ubay bin Ka'b. Nothing personal here, but this is the Ubay bin Ka'b who got beaten by Mr. Muhammad. Pieces, police and FBI be upon him. Why? Because he was questioning the different Arabic Qurans. Muhammad struck him in his chest, which caused him to sweat, and then he never had that much doubt, even in the time of Jahiliyyah. Just like amazing. Can I ask about the specific part of the video? Okay, brother, I didn't watch that part of the video, but what we can do is let me move to, so let me see where I stopped. So I'm still in like within 101.21 minute. So I'm gonna move to minute 8, okay, and then we see what is the point brother Jai is making. Okay, this is 7:59. We pick up from there and then we will go there. Okay, let's see.
These recitations, as Asyuti has mentioned, that are shad. That means that they are not accepted because even in recitation, we have to make sure they're mutawatir.
Okay, so sorry, I'm just gonna go back to figure out what he's talking about. By the way, Quran is not mutawatir. Don't believe that lie as well. So I am gonna start from minute. He's got the Quran in his hand, so I'm just gonna go back. Okay, let's start from here and then see what is this. Okay, let's start from here.
For some strange reason, Ubay ibn Ka'b had extra words in his.
He did not.
His
Okay,
qira'ah-
Okay, so we will pick up from here, okay? We will go back to beginning, but we just want to, I'm so good. I'm going to meet with the wishes of Brother Jai. So let's go here.
relationships, the Prophet is entailed to more respect and consideration than blood relations.
Okay, I think David Wood is talking about in Surah 33. Yeah, in the Yusuf Ali translation, you've got footnote, which tells you Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran was different, and then which actually changed the doctrine. Like, this is like regarding the adoption. That's what he's talking about. Let's pick it up from there.
In some qira'ahs, like that of Ubay ibn Ka'b, occur also the words, and he is a father of them, which imply his spiritual relationship and connection with the words, and his wives are their mothers. So in his
Okay,
qira'ah,
so he
in his
says,
qira'ah,
no, wait,
he had extra words.
hold on. Now, this is your ignorance again. Bring me the ayah. David Wood's going to get done another time now.
Yeah,
I know,
because
you're
Ubay,
ignorant.
because Ubay ibn Ka'b screwed up.
Because you didn't understand the hadith. That's the problem. Okay.
I wanted to laugh there. Oh, David Wood is very patient.
There you go, right there. That's the note. That's the verse.
So the note is
For some strange reason,
7:4.
for some strange reason, Ubay ibn Ka'b had extra words in his.
He did not have extra words. Hold on, I'm showing you. I'm showing you, right? وكان الله بما يعملون بصير. والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ولي للمؤمنين من أنفسهم وأزواجهم وأمهاتهم. Here, in this recitation of Ubay ibn Ka'b, which again this is one of the shad recitations, meaning this is not established from the mutawatir ahadith, which you don't know anything about, but what can I do? Here, the word is pronounced differently. It's not an additional word, which changes its meaning from their own wives, from their own selves and wives, to rather their own fathers. But this is first off, this recitation,
And he is a father to them.
right. Again, so like here, how he is closer to them in the recitation, the word changes the meaning of it. Not that there's an additional word, right? Like the word.
He said, occur also the words.
Let me explain it to you again, and you like get it fun, and you can read it. But the thing is, you don't really want to learn. The word walid in walida, for example, right? And just the change in recitation changes the meaning. Both of them being correct. Ubay ibn Ka'b radiallahu anhu, this qira'at is not established mutawatir. Every qira'at has to be mutawatir from a Nabi alayhi salam. But even here, it was not the additional word, but the difference in recitation that gave the depth in meaning. Now, these recitations, as Asyuti has mentioned, that are shad. That means that they are not accepted because even in recitation, we have to make sure they're mutawatir, that they are through numerous authentic chains. Those that are through authentic numerous chains, they do not have additional words because they all have to go back to one mushaf. Mushaf of Uthman radiallahu. Any recitation that may be attributed to anybody that does not go back to the Mushaf of Uthman is rejected. Sorry, Dave.
So if
Time.
Muhammad's other companions
Again,
had different recitations, because
which you're not getting.
That's,
you're not getting,
that's
right?
even in Bukhari.
So,
Umar said,
Okay.
Ubay was the best of the reciters among us, but we leave off some of what he recited. They're leaving it off.
So let's.
Excellent. What does that hadith talk about?
Let me guess, different pronunciations or something.
No. So Ubay ibn Ka'b radiallahu anhu had his style of recitation that would elongate things.
If the lips of Muslim missionary is moving, they are lying. Nothing personal, seriously nothing personal. But the moment their lips are moving, they are lying. And just a quick side note, like none of those Qurans are mutawatir. None of them. That's a lie and lie and lie. Look at his eyes. Those are the lying eyes. Hello.
Hey, sister. God bless you. Thanks for having me on with you.
Peace of Christ be with you, brother. Jai Apologetic is on the line. How are you doing, brother?
Hey, sister. Peace of Christ with you as well. I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm just like trying to memorize what the lips of liars look like, and I think I just memorized that. You
If you want a
learn
good
lots of
study
new things
case,
every day. Yeah.
yeah. If you want a good study, Othman, yeah, his lips you want to learn for lying.
Oh, brother, what is wrong? Is something wrong?
Yeah, a lot of things are wrong. Yeah. So one of the things that he's claiming, one of the claims that he's making is that in this particular reading, which is not just Ubay, but it's also Omar, the second caliph, it's also Ibn Mas'ud, but let's just take Ubay and Ibn Mas'ud for example. These are two of the four people that Muhammad said, if you want to learn the Quran, take it from these four people, Ibn Mas'ud and Ubay. So they both read that verse in that way. So these are not just random people, like, random guys out of nowhere. These are people that Muhammad said, if you want to learn the Quran from anyone, take it from these four people. Two of the four people read the Quran with that particular reading, and he's a father to them. The first lie that he told was that this is just a matter of pronunciation. It's about elongating vowels or changing the vowels around. The example that he gave was the verb in Arabic, walada. Walada means to give birth or to beget.
Yeah.
And the word for father is walid. And he's saying, well, see, there's a slight difference in the vowels and vocalization. That's all that's going on here. No, this is not what's going on in this passage. In this passage, in this verse, they're actually adding on words, and he is a father to them. That's additional words.
Yeah, just like I'll show the okay, let me just move to the main screen. So in here, I think one of the amazing things, one of the only common things seems I have with David Wood is we use the same Hafs Quran. So this is Hafs Quran, okay? Surah 33 verse 6, 7, and then you've got footnotes 3674, okay? In the footnotes, okay, it doesn't say or it can be read like this. It says and. It says like also in Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran occurs also the words, and then it says and he is a father of them. So it doesn't say or can be read, but it says and he is a father of them. Just like he doesn't, maybe, I know my English is not very good, but I am assuming these Muslim missionaries' English is not good either.
Okay, I just sent you the screenshot if you want to put that on the screen. I see you have it on your book. I'm a little behind on terms of the video.
Yeah, you get to see what I'm saying in 20 seconds after.
Okay.
After what I say. Oh, you've got that.
So, yeah. So that image, if you want to like put that on the screen, that's basically just what David Wood was showing. So this is an addition of words. It's not just changing the vowels. So the verse is saying that Muhammad is closer to them than themselves, and his wives are their mothers. And then some people would have the additional words, and he is a father to them. So this is not just changing vowels or making like stress or something. This is a huge lie. It's adding words. And this ties into another point that I wanted to make, which is he's saying that all of these readings, these canonical, the qira'at, the readings of that are accepted by the Sunni Muslims, all of them have to conform to one standard text. Okay, I see you have it on the screen. Okay, so yeah, so basically he's saying that they have to conform to one standard text of Uthman, the Mus'haf of Uthman, and this is a huge lie, which we can get into, sister.
So it is like a huge lie, because I did show them some of the manuscripts where Muslims who is telling us about the manuscripts are telling us no, even like manuscripts were different when they were sent out to the different cities. And then they give us examples after examples. What I've done was, in Topkapı Musaf, I showed 3 pages of chart, which was put together by Tayyar Altıkulaç, telling us they were different. So let me just, would you like me to go back to, what is it, pictures you send it to me, brother, so you can bring up your example?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. So I guess we can go to, yeah, we go to the example where I have like the Ottomanic text, the Rasam, and then like the possible vocalizations. We can go to this one first.
Oh,
So,
yeah, this is the one. Yeah.
All right. So for this is an example because to help people follow along with what the claim actually is. So the claim is that the Uthmanic text, that the Mus'haf of Uthman, the text of Uthman, or you might hear it called like the skeletal text, or the continental skeletons, or different ways of referring to it, or the Arabic term rasam. This is the text on the first line. On the first line, where you have letters, but there aren't any dots. Like if you compare it to the second one and third one, there aren't any dots on the letters. So in Arabic, you read it from right to left. So the first word, which is the one on the top, like the top right, the first word, you notice that if you compare that between all 3 of the, like the first one, it's blank. Like there are like lines, and then the second one, there's a little dot. You have like squiggly lines. Basically, it's helps you read the word. This is how we read Arabic today. So the second word, which is the second one from the right, you can read this word, and I have it as 2 different ways. So the way that the Quran has it vocalized today is this whole line means that, it means that book has no doubt in it. That book has no doubt in it. That's one way to vocalize this text. So the idea is that you have to stay within that consonantal skeletal text with the rasam. If you're staying within that rasam, there are other things, like, for example, is it mass transmitted? How reliable is the chain? I'm talking about the standards that Uthman would accept. This is not like early Muslims who would accept this, or even like 500, 600 years ago. They don't accept this standard. But let's just go by Uthman's standard, that they have to be, mutawatir and all of these things. So they also say that it has to conform to Arabic grammar as well, which we can get into that if you want to. But so one way to vocalize this text is that book has no doubt in it. And then a second way is that kebab has no oil in it. So they're the same skeletal text. The difference is, do you want to put 2 dots above the line or below the line? Do you want to put 1 dot below the line or above the line? That's the only difference. So it's staying with. So all you're doing is you're adding dots. So I just want to make that really clear, because once people understand this, we can go on to the quotation, the next quotation, sister, from Ibn Khaldun.
And just a comment on this, it's interesting you pick Surah 2 verse 1. I recently edited a video, and then we put up by Shadi Nasir, where he's giving a similar example, where in early Muslims, as they are kind of reciting the Surah 2 verse 1, he's reciting as that book has no oil in it. Instead of like doubt in
Right.
it,
Yeah.
he puts it as oil in it. So you see how you can just change the dots and then you can make lots of different things. It can be in different examples. It can be meat, fight, kill, or elephant. So all of them are the same undotted skeleton Arabic.
Right.
Yeah, I
So
just want.
basically, if you remove all of those dots, then supposedly all of these canonical readings are supposed to be in exact agreement with each other.
Yep.
That's the claim. That's what Uthman is saying. That's what Muslims today, by and large, are saying. They're saying that if you remove all these dots, like the differentiators between, like al-kitab and al-kebab, like if you remove those dots, they're identical. That's the claim. So if we go to Ibn Khaldun,
Yeah.
and this is a citation of Ibn Khaldun, Shadi Nasser, actually same person you're just referring to, Shadi Nasser. This is in his book, The Transmission of the Variant Readings of the Quran, The Problem of Tawatur, and the Emergence of the Shawad. So the Shawad, that means like the irregular readings. Okay, so Ibn Khaldun says, this is Shadi Nasser now, and so he's saying Ibn Khaldun, for example, condescendingly criticized the traditionalists for their ahistoric views regarding the development of the Arabic script. He stated that the early Arabic script was still underdeveloped when the companions wrote down the prototypical copies. So the underdeveloped script would be that first one that we showed you guys with no dots on it at all. That's the underdeveloped script. He goes on. The imperfections of the early script caused several discrepancies in the Uthmanic copies. Those who believe that the companions excelled in Arabic orthography, which is the writing, the script, are, according to Ibn Khaldun, big Muslim scholar, he says that they're idiots. I'm not saying that. I don't call people that, but that's what Ibn Khaldun is saying. He's saying that if you think that the script that Uthman used, that the Arabic script that was available during the time of Uthman and the companions, if you think that was the par excellence of the best of the best of the Arabic language, the Arabic script, if that's what you think, he says, then you're an idiot. That's not me saying that. That's Ibn Khaldun.
Yeah, like their own scholars are using such a words for them. Like I wouldn't have any problem to use that word when it is necessary, but you are so kind and gentle. Just so what we have is, we don't have Uthman's Quran. We've got Muslim scholars who are looking into the manuscripts are telling us when Uthman sent his Quran to different cities, there were skeleton. I'm not taking a call. People are calling in. I am already on Skype with someone. Please do not call number 94. So the skeleton of the Arabic were different. They were like edited words. As it's been sent to Damascus, it's been sent to Kufa, all different places. They were different. And now we are reading, Muslim scholars are calling one another idiot because of all, like the misrepresentation of their holy Quran. So holy that such a love language is being expressed.
So, sister, Uthman makes a particular claim about this, that if you want to go back into the video, I think if you want to start around like 8:07 and then end at 8:25, and then we'll stop there and we'll comment on exactly what he says there.
Okay.
Quraysh did not want to elongate. Ubay ibn Ka'b radiallahu anhu, this qira'at is not established mutawatir. Every qira'at has to be mutawatir from a Nabi alayhi salam. But even here, it was not the additional word, but the difference in recitation that gave the depth in meaning. Now, these recitations, as Asyuti has mentioned, that are shad. That means that they are not accepted, because even in recitation, we have to make sure they're mutawatir, that they are through numerous authentic chains. Those that are through authentic numerous chains, they do not have additional words, because they all have to go back to one mushaf. Mushaf of Uthman.
Okay.
Any recitation
Okay, so they do
his
not
lips were
have
moving.
additional words.
Yeah, sorry, his lips were moving. Therefore, he was lying. Okay, remember, the
Yeah.
moment
Are
your
you
lips are
studying?
moving, they're lying.
Yeah, if you want to study how like what a liar looks like, what his face looks like, what people have like body language with how they lie. I think Uthman would be the good guy to study for that.
He might charge for it, brother. So,
Okay.
first of all, let me make a quick point. The reason some Qurans are today is acceptable and some are not, and some were acceptable and then some were not in 13th, 14th century, it was all because of political. Man said, oh, I'm going to pick those things. Anyone who disagrees with me will get to prison. That's how it was. There was a political power was forcing certain Qurans to circulate more than rest of it. But anyway, that's not we are focusing. So, yes, brothers.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So they use their political power to enforce which versions of the Quran they wanted to use. It wasn't based on mutawatir. It wasn't based on so mutawatir basically means like mass transmission. So the idea is that if you're getting the same information from massive amounts of people who are getting it, like I get it from this person, this person, this person, and then someone else says, well, I got it from that person, that person, that person, different people. The idea is that they can't be lying if they're all getting it from different people. That's the idea. So this was not used in early Islam. This is a myth. Mutawatir is not an early Muslim standard for determining what is the proper authentic reading of the Quran. In fact, people like At-Tabari would critique versions of the like standard accepted canonical versions of the Quran. He would critique them, the ones that are accepted today, and he would say like this doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
It makes more sense.
Tabari rejects Hafs Quran, by the way.
Yeah,
like
he
Hafs Quran,
rejects the reading. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. So they did not use the standard of mutawatir. So that's one thing. But is it true? Is it true what he said that all of these accepted readings, these canonical readings, all go back to this one Uthmanic text? Therefore, they don't deviate in words at all. They don't add words or delete words. Is that true? Well, I give you some examples, sister, from a website. If we go to chapter 3, verse 133, just to start us out, chapter 3, verse 133.
Just give me a second. I need to find it. I haven't opened it.
Okay.
Okay. And also, just like as I am opening that page, can I also just kind of bring some very small little thing for the attention of people? If the reason Quran is like massive transmission, all those kind of things, Surah 9 verse 128 and 129 shouldn't be in the Quran at first step, because only one person's testimony made into the Quran. We don't know who recited Surah 4 verse 157, but in somehow they are in the Quran. Like it's just like moving lips. Okay.
That's an excellent point. So just to reemphasize that point, I mean, it's a great point that if this was an early standard in Islam, it has to be mutawatir, then we wouldn't have the Quran that we have today, because as you said, sister, there are some parts of the Quran that were only received from one person who remembered how to recite it. Just one person, not mutawatir, one person. So yeah, that's an excellent point. This was not an early Muslim standard. This is not an early Muslim practice. Okay, so I see we have the example on the screen here. Let me just make sure I can see. Okay, so as you can see, the first one so for people unfamiliar with Arabic is read from right to left. So if you can somehow put both on the screen, Hafs and Qalun, the first and second one, we can show the difference. How the first letter, there we go. Yeah, so the first letter, on the on the top line on the very right hand side, there's the letter wow.
Yeah, not like
So
letter
this is a consonant.
Yeah, letter looks like number 9 is in the Hafs Quran.
Exactly.
But something miracle happened. That letter looks like number 9 just got lost in the way from Kufa
Yeah.
to Medina.
Exactly. No, that's an excellent point that you just pointed out that these are actually different cities that have, or different regions that have different readings. But that's not what Osman said. Osman said that they both go back, that these all go back to one reading. So did this one reading have the letter wow, or did it not have the letter wow? Did it have the word and, or did it not have the word and? Because that's, depending on your perspective, it's either missing from the original Mus'haf, the original Rassam, the original text, or it's added on. But these are both canonical readings. So Uthman says that they both go back to the one standard script. How can they go back to the same standard script, one script, if they have different consonants? So right now we're not talking about vocalization. We're not talking about like walida and well, he gave a bad example because you actually spell walid and walida differently. Walid has an extra letter, has an aleph in it. But even if we just take that as an example, it's not a difference of vocalization. This is where a letter or a preposition is like the preposition and. This is a letter in Arabic, it's a word, and it's missing completely. So they can't both go back to the same original, the same script. They can't. It doesn't work.
I'm just trying to find Surah 3 verse 133 in Topkapı Musaf to see if in the Topkapı Musaf it has that number 9 or it doesn't.
Okay.
But you continue, brother. If you want me to move
right.
on, I'm happy to do so as well.
Okay, so while you look for that, sister, why don't you just give us the other example on screen in chapter 57 and chapter 57, verse 24. So
Yeah, that's
chapter
the
57.
yeah.
All right. So this is just going to serve as another example to show. And by the way, we can multiply example on example on example, but these are just two examples. Just, I mean, really, it only takes one to prove the point. But if we wanted to multiply example on example on example, we could do that. So all right. Okay. Thank you, sister. I think the logo is covering the second one. If you could scroll down a little bit.
Don't be so pushy, brother.
Am I pushing like Mimi and Yasser Qadi? Is it pushing?
You are
Okay.
crossing the red lines, brother. Holes in the yes. Are you able to see it now?
That's perfect. Thank you so much, sister. Sorry for pushing. Okay. So as you guys can see, while their sister is looking that up, in this passage here, this verse here, chapter 57, verse 24, which is 23 in Qalun and Warsh and other readings, because they don't count the first verse in Hafs as actual verse. So you see that the pink highlight on the second image there on the bottom, and that pink, if you try to identify, it's hard for me to do this because I don't have the control over like the mouse, but if you can recognize that pink text on the first line, there's actually an extra word or a missing word depending on your perspective. So it says Allah huwa, the word huwa is actually missing completely from the other readings.
So it's I'm showing the I don't know Arabic, but I'm trying to show it on the screen. So you've got this this alif, and then you've got like these things, and then in the middle you've got these like two things. When you look at the pink one, you get to see actually that middle thing is missing in here. What happened?
Exactly.
So again,
where did it go?
Hafs is from Kufa, Warsh is from Medina. From Medina to Kufa, that whole consonantal word got like eaten by mouse or something. Like Akbar just stepped in and then ate it, or I don't know what happened. But it's here, but it's not here.
Right. So yeah, so the ones from Syria and from Medina, they don't have huwa, but the ones from Kufa and Basra, they do have Basra. Sorry, they do have the huwa. Or so they can't be getting it from the same standard Uthmanic Mus'haf. They can't be getting it from that because how is it possible? Like these are consonants. These are not vowels. It's not just vocalization. like do you stress, like, is it like ah or ah, ah or ah? No, it's not just vowels. This is consonants. It's a word, an entire word in this instance is missing in certain Qurans, or it's added on certain Qurans, depending on your perspective. Uthman is telling us that these all go back to one single mushaf, one single text. But how is that possible if, so in other words, let me just back up. So Uthman's big claim is that if you remove all of these dots, if you just keep the lines, the skeletal consonantal text, if you just keep that and you remove all of the dots, then they're all identical. Well, here's an instance where this doesn't rely on dots or anything. It's literally two consonants are missing. So these would appear in a skeletal consonantal rasam. This word would appear. Huwa would appear. Where is it? It's impossible for these both to go back to the same singular text. It can't happen because it's a complete missing word. What do you think, sister?
So in so this sorry which verse is this one, brother?
This one is chapter 57.
Yeah, sorry.
Verse 24.
Yeah. So I've got in my hand, I've got Topkapı Musaf. Okay.
Okay.
And in Topkapı Musaf, so this is one of the earliest ones. In Topkapı Musaf for Surah 57 verse 24, okay, I don't have that like this nice thing in this word. It's not in Topkapı Musaf.
Oh, it's not there.
It's not in Topkapı. So, and that's one of the earliest manuscripts. And then since we've got two options here, like Hafs is different from the Warsh, and in the Uthman's Quran, it has to be one of them. It can't be one of them if all the if the letters without dots are going back to Uthman's Quran, then this thing, this Hawa or Huwa, whatever that Huwa, this word needs to be there, or if it is there, then it should be in the Warsh Quran as well. Or it is not there, Mr. Hafs just edited it because he was a liar and not trustworthy. So we don't know, but additional to that, we know it's not in Topkapı.
So we know for a fact that these cannot go back to the same text. They cannot go back to the same text. So the one without Huwa goes back to a text that doesn't have Huwa. The one with Huwa goes back to a text that has Huwa. The same with the other one, with the example of the letter Wa, or the word and. And then, like I said, we can add example onto example onto example, but these are just two for the sake of, like, just for the purpose of our discussion, because we want to just prove the point. Uthman is clearly proven wrong here, because he's claiming that they're all going back to one. They can't, though. It's impossible.
Yeah, and so I've got Topkapı Musaf in front of me. Surah 3, verse 133. In Topkapı Musaf, we've got this Wa, like letter looks like number 9. It's in Topkapı Musaf. But it's not in Warsh Quran. If both of those different Arabic Qurans are going back to Uthman's Musaf, they're supposed to be the same. We cannot say people in Medina forgot to put number 9 there, yet Mr. Hafs in Kufa was so clever, he knew number 9 is supposed to be there, therefore he put it there. I'm just saying number 9 for those of us who doesn't know like Arabic. I know it's disgraceful, probably you are thinking that, brother, but it's just like letter looks like number 9, okay? It's Huwa.
Yeah, just to identify. It's okay.
No, that's
it's
not
fine.
Huwa.
Just to identify it.
That's Wa,
looks like the number 9. So
yeah.
Anyway, so that I think that is enough to prove that Uthman, what he was saying is not true. So I don't know if you wanted to add on to that or move on to another point.
And only thing we needed is one, and so far we've got already 2 examples.
Exactly.
See?
Yeah.
When I say like their lips are moving, they're lying, that's what's happening. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so shall I go back to the video and then we kind of continue from that, or I'll go back.
Oh yeah,
Did you watch the video? Did you
yeah,
watch
I
all of
had
the
you
video?
go way forward. I sorry, so you can go back to where you were if you want to. You can continue however you want to structure it, and if I have anything to say, I'll just like add on.
Okay, so did you watch the video from the beginning? It's 18 minutes video.
Yeah, so I actually, when I first watched it, I watched like the first like 9 minutes, and
Yeah.
then I felt so compelled to to do something about it. So I made like a stream about it as well, because I was like, whoa, I can't believe what I just saw. And then after I came back, and I actually did watch the whole thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I seriously, like, so when I watch those things, I stumble a lot. I usually say like look at the title, and then I say to Daughter of Christ, this is the video we will do, and then she's the one who watches, and then I usually watch them like first time, usually in the live streams, because it's just
Ah,
not helpful. Okay, so what I'll do
yeah.
is I'll go back to pick up from minute 148. Okay, that's like where he was making a claim about actually no, while we are here, we did Surah 33. Okay, is that okay, brother? I'll go back to 104 minute
Yeah.
148, and then we pick up from there.
Yeah. Then if
Maybe
you
a
also
prejudice to
wanted to
anybody
cover like
that
the
does.
different. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
No,
You can.
go on, brother. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, we could also cover the other quote unquote standards, or whatever he said, the criterion. Yeah, that's right, the criterion. There are three of them. One of
Yeah.
them that it has to conform to like one standard Ottomanic text.
Yeah.
That's one. The second one has to be grammatically correct, and then the mutawatir point. So if you wanted to like
Okay.
cover any of those as well, we can.
Yeah, we could do that. So it is very basic knowledge, even for me, who doesn't know Arabic. I can recite Arabic, but I don't know Arabic.
Okay.
Quran has grammatical mistakes. Even we put even a video up on that. I think another Shadi Nasir's video where he was like saying like, okay, grammars were trying to figure out how to deal with all those kind of things. That's just another mess.
You know what? There's actually in the famous deleted interview between Muhammad Hijab and Yasser Qadi, he actually Mimi actually brings up this point. Muhammad Hijab actually brings up this point, and he says like what Yasser Qadi was saying reminded him of when the early like commentators and early Muslims would talk about the problems of grammar, the grammatical problems in the passages. So this was a thing that the early commentators would often point out, that there were times when it would agree with the Mus'haf, but it wouldn't agree with grammar.
Yeah.
And they actually say that specifically.
So would you are an Arabic speaker, would you don't have to kind of agree the way I am phrasing the sentence. You can phrase however you want, but would you agree with me to say like, actually Allah, who knows nothing, apparently knows best, didn't know very basic grammar?
Yeah,
Failed
there
with the
are a
Arabic.
lot of. Yeah, I mean, it really depends on your standard of how, like, sorry, your perspective on how you think like languages develop and how Arabic developed. But if we are to judge the Quran today by the rules that we have set today, like these are the rules that, like you say, for example, like you learn in school or whatever, then yeah, there are lots and lots and lots of grammatical errors, and whoever wrote it would have to go back to school.
Of course, someone needs to take him to school. So probably old age with all those disabilities, he won't even able to get into the school. But anyway, okay. So I'm gonna pick up from where we kind of left in the beginning, and then we continue from there.
Okay.
Ibn Ka'b didn't say Ubay ibn Ka'b didn't say that there are over 200 verses missing from Surah 33.
Not at all. Let me explain this. Let me
he didn't have extra words.
He did not. Let me
He did not have extra words.
Can I explain it now?
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Okay,
even Yusuf Ali's commentary admits it.
Yusuf Ali was an Ismaili, as I told
Yeah,
you. and
Yusuf
he's not-
Ali is just lying about what's in.
Let me
What's
explain
in the
it.
Qira'at
Get
of
the book.
Ubay ibn Ka'b.
Listen, sir. If you want to learn,
By the way,
learn.
just on that
This
point
is
real
why
quick.
you didn't come here to learn, because you're not trying to.
He's trying to dismiss Yusuf Ali by saying that he's saying that he's like Ismaili, like he's a Shia, or he was. Well, guess what? He converted. He became Sunni.
Yeah.
And Saudi Arabia endorsed his translation.
Yeah.
So he's saying, oh, I don't trust that translation because he's Shia or whatever. Well, he became Sunni. He converted.
Yeah, and the one I'm using, Yusuf Ali, that was one of the Quran in my early days at Speakers Corner. Muslims kind of told me to get it, and now
Right.
they look at the footnote and then they see, oh yeah, now Yusuf Ali is gonna butcher what I am saying and confirm that there are holes in the Quran. So what we do is like, let me deny him. On the just
Exactly.
side note, like other guy who wrote to translate the Quran, Muhsin Khan, I think he just recently died, like yesterday or day before he just died. So that's the side information anyway. So Yusuf Ali's Quran is apparently not reliable anymore. Very soon, like I'm waiting to hear. Very soon they are gonna say like, okay, Quran is not reliable at all.
Yeah, they
hard
keep
to say.
throwing their scholars under the bus. They keep throwing their scholars under the bus, and this is a constant theme that we keep seeing. It's like a reoccurring theme, happens over and over and over again. So yeah, it's a bit, I mean, maybe eventually, people are gonna start throwing Uthman under the bus. Although David Wood got him to admit that he's not a sheikh. He said that he's not actually a sheikh. I guess he just accepts the title, but he's not actually a sheikh. Like, he doesn't have ijaza, like he doesn't have the proper Islamic qualifications. But it wouldn't surprise me if Muslims start throwing him under the bus, because maybe he's going to start saying things that go against the standard narrative.
Muslims are already put Yasir Qadi under the bus. I think like the moment like when they see how much lies, how much this man's lip is moving, they will. But I think like in those kind of things, like you don't have much expectations, because bottom line is they don't have a good news to give to people.
Right.
And
Right.
other thing is we represent where we come from. So we are individuals who are made in image of God, and I look at my God. My God is not a deceitful. My God, like Allah is deceitful with pride, all those kind of things. Therefore, you would expect his followers to practice something such like that. So that's what we kind of
Right.
see. Like,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We try to imitate the ways of our Lord.
yeah.
We try to imitate the ways of our Lord. They try to imitate the ways of their Lord, and their Lord happens to be, by his own admission, the best of all deceivers.
Yeah. Okay, so let's
And Jesus, and by contrast, Jesus says that he is the truth. And yeah, so I mean, I know that the Quran also. So the Quran makes some funny claims. First, it claims that Allah is the truth as well, but it also says he's the best of all deceivers. The Bible says that it's impossible for God to lie. So we have that clear.
So therefore, as I said, like I don't have much expectations from followers of Islam, but I do expect little bit dignity. Those people who are on the streets and they are involved with dawah, you expect
Yeah,
little bit
right.
higher from them. But like this is like seriously painful, like really, really painful. Anyway, let's continue.
Okay.
You keep saying false stuff. Quit saying false things, and I won't have to respond.
Al-Itqan of a Suyuti, and he has an entire chapter that discusses in this differences. What he explained about Ubay ibn Ka'b radiyallahu anhu are those ayat that were revealed and then put in different surahs. It's not that they were disappeared. Ibn Mas'ud, let me finish, bro. Let me finish before you go to Yusuf Ali. And Yusuf Ali again was Ismaili. We don't accept his commentary. He even denied the Hurul Ain. So I mean, we're not going to go there, right? But now when we go to the Yusuf Ali, I said that in the beginning. When you first pulled that out, I told you Yusuf Ali, he's Ismaili. I told you that in the beginning.
I know you hate all these other groups. It doesn't mean I
hate.
can't get information from them. Why should I trust you over them?
Evidence. Okay. Now, a Suyuti, which is a standard for Itqan, he says about Ibn Mas'ud, it is not that he didn't have Qulawd al-Falaq, Qulawd al-Nas, but he took them as adhkar originally until it was reminded. And that's why when Zayd ibn Thabit, you know Zayd ibn Thabit is?
Yeah.
You know who he is?
About the Quran.
When he compiled it, was there any khilaf or was there ijma'? Ijma', consensus of all of the Sahaba that this is the Quran as revealed from Al-Fatiha to Nas. Zayd ibn Thabit radiyallahu anhu in the time of Abu Bakr and again in the time of Uthman. This is the ignorance
didn't he leave
that he
off a couple
doesn't know.
verses?
He did not.
He
Zayd
didn't?
ibn Thabit left off the Quran. What's wrong with
Last time when I checked, when Zayd bin Thabit put Quran together, Ibn Masud was objecting his Quran, therefore his hips are broken. Last time when I checked, as Zayd bin Thabit was putting the Quran together, Mr. X would come and then say, oh, you forgot this, let's add this. Last time when I checked, Ibn Omar was concerned that the verses which revealed supposed to be part of the Quran is not there anymore. So that, oh, everyone give consent is just like lie, moving lips. Any comment on
Yeah,
that, brother?
exactly. Yeah, I mean, David brought this up earlier that I mean, he showed it on the screen how there are people like As-Suyuti mentions this. It's funny that Uthman mentions As-Suyuti, but Ibn Masud had these 2 extra chapters. So I mean, this is like the idea that they had 100% complete conformity between all of the early Muslims on what the Quran was. This is a myth.
If the, like other thing is like even not on like Ubay bin Ka'b, Ibn Masud, they're all 7th century guy. In 1400s, in 900s, 935, 936, people went to prison because they were disagreeing with the Quran. In 1400s, people end up in prison because they were disagreeing with the Quran. So that's just like moving lips, lies, lies, lies. Like seriously.
Exactly. This is how the Muslims operated. You mentioned earlier about like when they first canonized the different readings, like Ibn Mujahid. They would they would use their political power on people, and Ibn al-Jazari, all of these guys, when they would have certain readings like the 7 and then the 10, they would threaten people for disagreeing with them. They would use political forces, political power. So, I mean, Al-Thuban is just presenting like this complete mythical world that doesn't actually exist. What he's describing is just a fairy tale. This is not Islam.
Yeah. And just a quick side note. I usually don't kind of comment on those kind of things, but like, have you noticed the way like he's bullying David Wood and that's just like very childish. That's just so babyish.
Yeah, I mean, there's an instance in their previous discussion when David Wood was speaking about the battle, not really the battle, when Muhammad ambushed Khaybar, and Uthman started to laugh. He's like, "Have you been to Khaybar?" And David said, "No." And then he started to laugh. This guy's never been to Khaybar. Like, I mean, this is the type of like, what do you mean he's never been to Khaybar? How many people in the world have been to Khaybar? Just because he hasn't been there means he can't talk about the events. So he just brings up these like ridiculous like standards, and he makes fun and tries to get people to laugh along with him. This is his whole thing. It's all about like playing for the camera.
Yeah. I'm just gonna put this on the screen. If in case like we misverbalize this. So Ubay bin Ka'b has 116 chapters. Ibn Masud has 111 chapters.
Yeah, if you want, I can. I don't know if you have this on the screen, but we actually have, because As-Suyuti recorded this. We actually have the 2 extra chapters.
Yeah.
In Masud's codex.
Yeah. I do have them. I can put them up. In a second. Here is the
Okay.
on. Are you able to see my screen? Because I'm trying to share screen with you, brother.
Yeah, I can. It's very
Okay.
small, but I can see. Like
Yeah,
I'm squinting, I can see.
so mean. Yeah. So this is
Yeah, I can see them. Yeah.
2 chapters of Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran, which is not in current Quran. And also, by the way, there is like lots of debates were going on regarding even Surah Fatiha should be in the Quran or not, because is that like dua, or is it like the verse chapter which is revealed? So there is lots of discussion on that as well.
Right. Yeah. By the way, there's also in the Mus'haf of Ibn Masud. Sorry, we mentioned him, of Ibn Abbas as well. Ibn
Yeah.
Abbas used to read one of these chapters, or I can show it in a Sayuti. I can give you the link. It mentions all of the ones who have these extra chapters in like their mushaf. Or
Yeah.
so yeah. So
I
there's
do
a lot
have
of
them. Yeah, I do
um,
have them. If anyone wants to see it, we can just like talk about it on
great. Yeah.
on different live stream maybe. Let me
Okay.
just move forward with the video. Is that okay?
Yeah. That's fine.
He didn't find.
What is wrong with you?
Zayd ibn Thabit didn't when he did the Uthmani recension. He didn't find a couple verses that were missing.
No.
No.
No.
Okay.
Where did you get
That's
that from?
interesting.
Yourself?
You didn't find the two verses from.
Listen. Zayd
From
ibn
Surah 9?
Thabit radiyanhu, when he compiled the Quran in the time of Abu Bakr radiyanhu and re-standardized the prints you sent out, they were the same. This is why the Sahaba came to an ijma'. You know what the word ijma' means? Consensus. I mean, no Sahabi disagreed when this was sent out. Ibn Mas'ud radiyan knew Qul a'udhu bi falaq wa a'udhu bin-nas. He led them in salah with them. There are ahadith where Ibn Mas'ud recites them in salah. But what he was explaining was he took them to be adhkar originally until he was reminded. And that's why when Zayd ibn Thabit compiled the Quran, he didn't just do it from his own. He collected all of the Huffaz and all of the Sahaba until they came to a consensus. And that's why today, I ask you, David Wood, find me one Muslim that does not believe that the Surah Al-Fatiha to Surah Al-Nas is Quran.
You're talking about after all the variants and so on are burned.
Again,
Uthman had to burn them all.
Uthman did not burn variants. This is again your ignorance. So let me explain. No.
The reason for compiling them and burning them was because there were differences in the recitation of the Quran.
There are all the recitations go to the Mus'haf of Uthman. Then how could those differences have been gone? No.
So, just wanted to step in for the site information. This is like type of dawah gangs we kind of engage weekly. When Uthman was, before Uthman was burning the Quran, people died. So in Battle of Yamama, in the time of Abu Bakr, 70 people died in the Battle of Yamama. Muslim world freaked out that they are going to lose the Quran. So they decided to write it down in the time of Abu Bakr, and there were lots of issues. In the time of Uthman, as they are writing the Quran down, this time, okay, there are differences within the Qurans where people were calling one another disbelievers in the war. Muslim people were calling other Muslim people kafir, disbelievers, because the way Quran is being recited. So therefore, individuals kind of push Uthman, and then Uthman kind of ordered the Quran to be rewritten again. And even in that rewritten version, like still certain verses are being forgotten. Like, and again, moving lips and full of lies. Just wrong, just bad.
Right.
Bad.
And he challenges him to find one Muslim that it's like, okay, he keeps restricting the definition of Muslim though, because earlier he said that Yusuf Ali, who became a Sunni, he is like Ismaili, Shia. So he's saying like, find me one, but then he keeps restricting the definition. When he gives him people who are giving him contrary views to what he's saying, they're not really, they're not really Muslim. So he's basically saying, find anyone who agrees with me that disagrees with me.
Yeah. Ubay bin Ka'b, the one which Muhammad points people to, Ibn Masud, and Zayd bin Thabit. So those three Muslims are more than enough, but maybe they are not Muslim anymore because they are dead and being tortured in the grave. I don't know, but it's just like bad.
Maybe.
Let me finish with you now. When Uthman radiyan collected the Quran, people had small scripts. And what he wanted to do was to make sure that people don't start to take those scripts and misunderstand and join them in wrong places as they're not in a book format. So he compiled it.
And differences in the recitation of the Quran.
No. Again, the differences of Qira'at continue on the Mus'haf Uthman. Even today, every Qira'at has, the three conditions of the Qira'at?
One second, just let me read this so I can put it down. So this is commentary on the verse, Surah 33, verse 6. The Prophet is closer to the believers than their own selves, and his wives are their mothers. He says, in spiritual relationships, the Prophet is entailed to more respect and consideration than blood relations. In some qiras, like that of Ubay ibn Ka'b, occur also the words, and he is a father of them, which imply his spiritual relationship and connection with the words, and his wives are their mothers. So in his qira,
so he
in
says,
his qira,
no,
he
wait,
had
hold
extra
on,
words.
hold on. Now, this is your ignorance again. Bring me the ayah. David Wood's going to get done another time now.
Yeah,
I know,
because
you're
Ubay,
ignorant.
because Ubay ibn Ka'b screwed up.
Because you didn't understand the hadith. That's the problem.
Okay. There you go, right there. That's the note. That's the verse.
So the note is
For some strange reason,
7-4.
for some strange reason, Ubay ibn Ka'b had extra words in his.
He did not have extra words. Hold on, I'm showing you. I'm showing you, right? وكان الله بما يعملون بصير. والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ولي للمؤمنين من أنفسهم وأزواجهم وأمهاتهم. Here, in this recitation of Ubay ibn Ka'b, which again this is one of the shad recitations, meaning this is not established from the mutawatir ahadith, which you don't know anything about, but what can I do? Here, the word is pronounced differently. It's not an additional word, which changes its meaning from their own wives, from their own selves and wives, to rather their own fathers. But this is first off, this recitation.
Says, and he is a father to them.
Right. Again, so like here, how he is closer to them in the recitation, the word changes the meaning of it. Not that there is an additional word, right? Like the word.
He said, occur also the words.
Let me explain it to you again, and you like get it on, and you can read it. But the thing is, you don't really want to learn. The word walid in walida, for example, right? And for it just to change in recitation changes the meaning. Both of them being correct. Ubay ibn Ka'b radiallahu anhu, this qira'at is not established mutawatir. Every qira'at has to be mutawatir from a Nabi alayhi salam. But even here, it was not the additional word, but the difference in recitation that gave the depth in meaning. Now, these recitations, as Asyuti has mentioned, that are shad. That means that they are not accepted, because even in recitation, we have to make sure they're mutawatir, that they are through numerous authentic chains. Those that are through authentic numerous chains, they do not have additional words, because they all have to go back to one mushaf. Mushaf of Uthman radiallahu. Any recitation that may be attributed to anybody that does not go back to the Mushaf of Uthman is rejected. Sorry.
So we kind of re-listened this part. He moved his lips approximately over 2 minutes, brother. What have you got anything to add beside like attention to the moving lips?
Yeah, so apart from that, well, we did cover this part earlier, in terms of these additional words, not just recitation or pronunciation, but these actually are additional words. So yeah, I think that there's a part earlier though that I want to comment on. It just slipped my mind though, but maybe you can comment and I'll think of it.
No, go on. Oh, you forgot it. Okay.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, like so. He's reading what the commentary is saying, okay? What the footnote is saying. And he's intentionally lies about it. Islam dies without lies. There are holes in the narrative. And like David with already putting like evidence of evidence, how Muslims are putting their own scholars under the bus. Not even under the bus, like they're slicing and then giving it to the dogs or something. It's just like disgraceful, like those people are doing dawah on the streets. If you can't trust what Ubay bin Ka'b passed it down, the man which Muhammad said take the Quran from, who are you gonna trust? Liar Hafs? Just wrong.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you were gonna say?
Yeah. They were commenting on the hadith about when Uthman burnt all of the other copies, and he was trying to make it sound like this. He tries to minimize the damage. Like it's not as bad. Like don't look over here. It's not that bad. No, it's bad. because the concern was, like like he's addressed as like, oh, leader of the believers, the you know, you're the leader, you're the Khalif, you're our guy, you're supposed to help us. He's like, we don't want to have the same differences between us that exist between the Christians and the Jews. So imagine how many differences exist between Christians and Jews. Muslims were afraid that if they kept all of the multiple readings that they had in that time, that they would end up being as different as Christians and Jews are. So this is not just a matter of pronunciation or little things like, oh, it's E versus E, it's ah versus ah. No, these are issues of massive differences, to where he actually had to burn all of them except for one standardized version.
And like those differences were causing people to call one another kafir. So I'm calling Jay, you are not a Christian, because the difference we are reading in the like John 3:16, for example. It's like that
Right.
damaging. So the way people in the battle are reciting the Quran, it's like battle is taking place with, actually let me put that on the screen.
Okay. Yeah, so this translation says, Commander of the Faithful, set this people right before they disagree about the book, in the manner of the Jews and the Christians. So, like, imagine thinking that your community would end up like two different religions.
Yeah, that makes
based
sense,
on
like
these
why
different
people,
readings.
why Muslims were calling one another kafir. So
Right, exactly.
Jews do not accept, today's Jews, of course, early disciples of Jesus were Jews. They do not
Right.
accept today that Jesus is the Messiah, eternal Son of God. So it is the same difference that Muslims are using towards one another. Probably one of them is saying, oh, Allah is not God. And another one is saying, oh, Allah is God. One of them is saying,
Yeah.
Allah has daughters. And another one saying, no, Allah has son. Or one of them saying, Muhammad has nothing to do with Allah. So the way they are calling, they are reciting the Quran is, this is only like 20 years after the death of Muhammad. 20 years after the death of Muhammad, Muslims are calling one another kafir because the way they are reciting the Quran.
Yeah, and I mean, and if you think about it, like in terms of like comparing it to early Christianity, this would be like the apostles. So the equivalent would be the apostles, and let's imagine, so you have some apostles writing letters, and let's say they started to turn against each other, and you have apostles fighting each other, killing each other. That's what ended up happening. All, all of the early caliphs, they're killed by other Muslims. And so like you said, the differences could be major theological differences in terms of like possibly Unitarian views of God versus Trinitarian views of God, or we also have different canons as well, like different like the Jews don't accept the New Testament, like the you know, we're talking rabbinic traditional Jews today, they don't accept the New Testament. So Christians have the whole New Testament, Jews don't have that. If the fear was, Uthman, save us so that we don't end up like that, then you have to imagine they must have like different, not just different messages, but different, like a lot of different texts as well.
Yeah, so they are calling one another kafir. Uthman is getting rid of all the Qurans and then saying, okay, like I know I can control your mind. The way I'm gonna do this is burn everything and then start from the beginning and then send every city one copy of the Quran. And he didn't only send the Quran, he sent one person who memorized the Quran, like Quran and the teacher. So like, therefore, like no any mistake is acceptable from now on. Still, it was like lots of mistakes end up, but anyway, so that's the kind of what's happening there.
So this also destroys the claim that Islam just relies on recitation and oral tradition.
Yeah.
Because why did he burn these copies of the Quran? if all the early Muslims just all memorized the Quran, and the only thing that they were going off of was their memory, well, then you can burn the Qurans if you want to. It's not going to change. So in other words, the same false ideas that you would get from reading a book that might have different text or different books or canons or whatever, you also have that problem if someone memorized that entire book, right? So it doesn't. So I mean, this also dispels that myth as well.
Yeah, and then that goes back even to time of Abu Bakr, because the reason Quran was written down, that they were afraid, like people died in the battle, they were afraid that they are going to lose the Quran. Only 70 people
Right.
who memorized the Quran died. So okay, like people are dying, our memory is not that good, like that it's not true, like thousands of people memorize the Quran. They are dying, they are taking the Quran with them, we lost chunk of it. What we are gonna do is, let's write it down. And even it is written down 20 years after that, still people are calling one another disbelievers. So awesome, perfect preservation of the oral tradition.
So if Muhammad's other companions
Again,
had different recitations, because
So, which you're not getting. You're not getting,
that's
right?
even in Bukhari.
So, let me-
Umar said,
Okay.
Ubay was the best of the reciters among us, but we
Excellent.
leave off some of what he recited.
Excellent.
They're leaving it off.
Excellent. What does that hadith talk about?
Let me guess, different pronunciations
No,
or something.
no. So Ubay ibn Ka'b radiallahu anhu had his style of recitation that would elongate things the Quraysh did not want to elongate. See, so this is the thing. You're ignorant
This
of
is
what's even
amazing.
going
We're
on,
sitting
right?
here reading. There
Yeah,
are
yeah.
passages you can read. This is Ubay ibn Ka'b who said that over 200 verses are missing just from Surah 33. He's got
Again,
extra words.
The problem
He's got extra
is,
words here.
The problem
and everything
is
will be reinterpreted
what he
as,
doesn't-
nope, it was
no,
exactly
it's
the
not
same.
interpretation.
He just
it's context.
elongated the
If
word.
If you had understood the context,
And
or
we're
if you
not
actually
elongating it.
studied-
That's what
do
Umar
this,
is saying.
Do this. Go get the book Al-Itqan and read it for yourself so you can look at historic evidences. The problem is you don't really want to know the answer. We study these sciences. That's why we have the answers. You don't study them and make ignorant attempts to make videos, and that's why when I correct you, you're like, oh, how come you always have the answer? Because we study this Quran.
I would like your answer on this, and I'm not even objecting.
Can we? And I told you, this is like almost 6
I actually
o'clock.
want this.
And he told me one more thing
Sahih
half an
Muslim.
hour ago.
Sahih Muslim.
This is your last thing then?
Sahih Muslim.
Last thing?
Sahih Muslim 2286.
Okay.
That's where Abu Musa, it says Abu Musa went to the reciters of Basra, and he said, be careful that you're reciting the Quran for a long time doesn't harden your hearts, as were hardened the hearts of those who came before you. And then he says basically they forgot 2 chapters of the Quran.
2286.
You're using Dar es Salaam.
Which one do you want me to use? Show me the hadith I can.
Wait, it's Sunnah.com gives.
I just want to look at the wording of the hadith that you're saying. Because you misunderstood every hadith till now, so I'm assuming you misunderstood this as well.
You don't know what hadith I'm talking about?
No? And not until you show me.
This guy really knows nothing. And sadly,
Yeah.
he doesn't even know he knows nothing. That's like heartbreaking. And it's not only that, like he just like, seriously, like,
He's so lost. He is so lost. Now you can tell David Wood, he's thinking long term. He's thinking like not right now in the moment, because he knows like later on he's gonna come back to this video and he's gonna put like all the references up that show that Osman is lying. So David just has like he's calm, cool, all this stuff. He knows that Osman is like messing up, and he's just gonna keep adding on. I mean, it's very smart. It's a very smart tactic from David. he's very tactical.
yeah, but I'm just like, I'm not asking too much. I'm just asking like dawah gangs to have little bit dignity. That's all I am asking. And sadly, zero dignity, zero dignity. And he just like lied. He just lied about like, how do you know at the first place how Ubay bin Ka'b was reciting the letters? And
Right.
doesn't matter, like Practically, you don't know that. But doesn't matter, because you have to follow his example. He is the one, Muhammad says, take the Quran from. He's the best of the reciters. And he's very proudful. And then he just like, oh yeah, we just put him under the bars, we sliced him and then give it to the dogs. That's like what happened.
Yeah, there are a ton of very odd readings that aren't in the canonical readings, but Ubay used to read them in that way. So for him to say that Ubay would just, you know, elongate vowels, or he would its pronunciation. I mean, it's such a lie, such a lie.
Let me see if I can show this. This is the list I am working on. It's gonna be very small. Don't get annoyed, people. It's gonna be it's too small to even to get on the screen. So this is the list I'm putting together with the lovely recitations of the early Muslims. So far there are like 46 different Qurans that early Muslims were reciting different from one another, and Ubay bin Ka'b is one of those names. Just like, yet today
Yeah.
they don't know how he was pronouncing A, E, all of those letters. Doesn't matter, of course,
Yeah.
because they had to follow him. On the day of, when they meet with Muhammad, when Mr. Muhammad, peace FBI be upon him, when he says, why didn't you follow Ubay bin Ka'b? What are they gonna say? Oh, we choose to follow someone else. And yeah, well, that's not gonna go well. Anyway,
Well, they're not going to be meeting Allah on the Day of Judgment. They're going to be meeting Jesus. But yeah, it's not going to go well if they stick to this.
If we go with the Islamic tradition, even when they see the shin of Allah, when they have chin chat with the shin of
Yeah,
Allah,
right.
it's not gonna help them. Okay, let's continue.
2 stars you got. So he didn't answer. He actually didn't answer like good questions.
All this way from New York just to get destroyed again. Miskeen. Ring it. Oh, can't find it.
No.
You were throwing the
This
number
has
out
a
like
different.
you
This
wouldn't
has a
believe.
different numbering system.
Then which one were you looking at?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
Ah,
What are you laughing? You're using.
I'm just giggling because my
Okay,
time
here we
to
go,
go
here we go.
an hour ago.
Okay, here we go.
There we go. All right, there we go. So what is the hadith number here?
I like logic.
One.
You see the 2286?
Okay,
That's in the old
I
book.
disagree
okay.
with them because
So, you are the best amongst the inhabitants of Basra, for you are the reciters amongst them, so continue to recite. Continue to recite. That your reciting for a long time may not harden your hearts, so they were hardened, as were the hardened of the hearts of those before you. We used to recite a surah which resembled in length the 70 surah in severity, Surah Al-Bara, which is Tawbah. I have, however, forgotten it, with the exception of which I remember out of it. If there were 2 valleys full of riches of the son of Adam, he would long for a 3rd valley, and nothing would fill their stomachs of the son of Adam except dust. And we used to recite a surah which resembled one of the surahs of Mushabbiyat, and I have forgotten it. But remember this much of it. What's your point?
This is Abu Musa.
Abu Musa al-Ash'ari.
He goes to the reciters. He goes to the reciters of Basra,
Okay.
right? And he says, hey, just be careful that you
Okay.
reciting the Quran for a long time doesn't harden your heart. Like you get bored with it or something, you get sick of it or something, right?
No. You don't understand. This is the thing. You're ignorant, right?
Reading words off a page.
No, and not understanding them apparently. Okay, so
yeah, that's true,
you're
but-
reciting for a long time.
Long
may
time.
not harden your heart, as were hardened of those before you. So he's telling them, continue to recite,
Obviously.
so that your reciting does not harden your heart.
Right. And he says,
So-
as
no,
were
the-
hard.
the-
No, he
yeah,
says,
yeah.
as were hardened the hearts of those before you.
For
right?
by not
the
reciting.
earlier generation.
Exactly.
Right? By not
So-
reciting, right?
right, hold on,
And
hold
then
on.
he
So let me-
quotes,
let me
and then
explain.
he says,
Right.
there was a chapter of the Quran
Surah Tawbah.
in length and severity, like Surah At-Tawbah. So there's a chapter as long as and hard as Surah At-Tawbah.
Okay.
Right? but I have forgotten it.
Sure.
Right? But he gives a verse out of it. If there were two valleys for the son of two valleys of riches for the son of Adam, they would want a third.
Miskeen.
And so he's telling the.
Let me explain it to you. You
This
good?
is Abu Musa saying they forgot two
Abu-
chapters.
This is your ignorance again, right?
What-
if
what
you
chapter
had,
is that?
If you had, let me explain it to you what chapter. That is not a chapter at all. That's actually a hadith.
That's
right?
a hadith.
That's a hadith. So let me explain this to you.
So he didn't know.
You waiting? You ready? You okay? Take a breath. Take a breath, bro. This is your last one, but I'm gonna kill it with this one. So, when we look at the Sahaba radiyallahu who were the memorizers of the Quran, those that came together with Zayd ibn Thabit, Abu Musa al-Ashari is not one of them. Did you know that? Oh, Dave's caught again.
Oh, then
Now,
then the chapter should still be there.
Let me explain. As if you had studied Ilm al-Rijal, which you didn't, then you would have known that some of the Sahaba to the later type of their age, they had issues with memory. Right? And that is why Uthman ibn Affan, may Allah reward him, what he had done before this time, before Abu Musa al-Ashari went to Basra, before he became old, that Uthman radiallahu anhu took the Qurra, the Zayd ibn Thabit, ibn Mas'ud, ibn Ka'b, from Uthman radiallahu anhu himself, and he standardized the Quran. So if somebody, as a person, starts to forget or mix up things, it would not affect the Quran. We know that Abu Musa al-Ashari radiallahu anhu, towards the later time of his life, had issues with remembering things and confusing things. But that would never affect the Quran, because the Quran was standardized and preserved by Uthman radiallahu anhu in book format and by ijma of the Sahaba in the early time, before the time when Uthman radiallahu anhu, Ali radiallahu anhu, and Abu Musa al-Ashari went to Basra. So a person himself, like for example, if I memorize the Quran, and when I get old, I come to this young man, I say, keep reciting the Quran so that your hearts don't become hardened, because I have forgotten many of the ayat of Quran and I recite them incorrectly, it will not affect the preserved, compiled Quran by ijma of the Sahaba radiyallahu anhu.
He gives a
That's
verse.
it.
He gives a verse out of it though.
He does not. This is a hadith. That's the whole
That's a
point.
hadith.
Imam al-Nawawi, in his Sharh of Sahih Muslim, he explained that this is actually a hadith, and Abu Musa al-Ashari, because of his old age, was confused. But the Quran, alhamdulillah, was preserved before that time by the consensus of the Sahaba. There are Sahaba who memorized the Quran and forgot parts of it. Like today, there are those who memorize the Quran. But it never affected the preservation of the Quran, because the Qurra, and he is not from them, the Qurra were the precise memorizers who wrote down the entire Quran during the lifetime of the Prophet ﷺ. And that's why Zayd ibn Thabit, when he collected it, he told them to bring from the writing and memory, and only accepting 2 witnesses per ayah, compiled the Quran, standardized, sent out by ijma' of Sahaba, so anybody's personal memory would never affect the Quran after that. Walhamdulillah.
Quran was never collected when Muhammad was alive. That's like double lie. Like seriously lie.
Yeah.
Just and what do you think about how he responded this, like people's heart has been hardened and they forgot the Quran, and apparently even though man is claiming that this was the word of Allah but I've forgotten, he simply said, oh no, that was from the hadith.
That's a hadith.
Yeah, do you remember?
It actually says it's a surah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it says what we used to recite the surah. Like he's actually saying it's from the Quran. So Uthman is saying, no, it's not from the Quran, it's from a hadith. No.
Yeah,
He's not.
Yeah, I was just thinking now, like I was reading today, and I think it was from like I think it was from Cafe Theology book, and then it was saying God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son. And I'm not sure if that was from that book or maybe it was from the Bible. What do you think where it was from, brother? Have you got any idea?
Yeah, yeah, it's from the Bible. So this is another example of Uthman throwing people under the bus. He has no problems even doing it with even some of the companions of Muhammad, as we can see. And notice he notice it's like he's saying, like, you're the best reciter. You're the one, like in our community in Basra, you're the best. And so Uthman is gonna come and say, oh no, he didn't actually know what he's talking about.
Just sad. Yeah, and like man says like this was the Quranic verse. It was like not only Quranic verse, but like chapter was as long as Surah 9, which is 129
Yeah.
verses. Only part is I remember is this part. And Muslim missionary simply says, oh no, he's talking about hadith. Here's the problem. If that is the case, can you imagine in today's Quran that says, oh, actually, there is the possibilities which the things were not the word of Allah end up in today's Quran,
Right.
or the things which are the word of Allah end up in the Quran. Why? Because these so clever, amazing memory Muslims just couldn't figure out where it's supposed to be. Maybe that's the reason why we've got Qudus 110 Qudus hadiths. Apparently they are the sayings of Allah, but they're not in the Quran. Just like, just disturbing. Anyway, just any last comments, brother? Do you have any last comments?
Yeah, I mean, I just like how David Wood puts all the references on the screen right after
Yeah.
Osman says something, because as you're like reading along and you're listening to Osman trying to like, you know, tell a story to how do I fit this together? How do I make this work? How do I fit this in the standard narrative? He has to literally change it from, you know, like in this example, change it from surahs of the Quran to hadith.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so yeah, I think that encounters like this, and if David Wood continues to do it more and more in the future, we're gonna just see all of these examples of where we just know we can't trust these people, the leaders, the dawah people, the debaters of the Muslims. Although he says he's not a debater, he told Anthony he's not a debater, and he told David he's not a sheikh. So I don't know what he is, but whatever he is, we can't trust him.
So let me just point out something. So remember, like all overall, his point was making like Quran is mutawatir and everything goes back to Uthman. That's the part I wanted to focus.
Okay.
In that part, of course, like I just noticed how they were like mocking and bullying my brother. That's like different thing. I will never allow someone to get away with that at Speaker's Corner. I usually don't deal with like those personal things, but like it's just painful when, you know, someone's lips are moving and they are lying, yet they are bullying your brother. Not acceptable at all. But let me put this on the screen. So how do we know? How do we know if the Quran is mutawatir? That means like how do we know that Quran kind of comes to us by lots of people, and how do we check this? So sometimes in the time of Muhammad, you simply go and then ask people, okay, let's hear what you are reciting. Let's hear what you are reciting. In this occasion, for us to know Quran is like come to us by many different people who were translating, who were reading, reciting. In this occasion, we simply turn to Mr. Tree. Mr. Tree is like green plant in the forest, but somehow end up in Saudi Arabia next to Muhammad, where was passing the word of Allah to Muslims. So how do we know people who give us the Quran are reliable? Because today we can check out the basic information about individuals who pass the Quran. Okay, here what it says. I asked Masruk, who informed the Messenger of Allah about the night when he heard the Quran? Who informed Muhammad when the night when he heard the Quran? He said, your father Ibn Masud narrated it to me that a tree informed him about that. A tree. You know, like the tree, like banana trees or like
That's
apple
a very
trees.
strong chain of narration.
I know, apple trees. So now we need to find out. Maybe it's like date tree, okay? You go and then say, Mr. Date Tree, did you really recited Surah 114, 115, 116? Mr. Tree, can you be kind enough and then tell us what did you really say to Muhammad? We want to confirm that because he's giving us this information from a tree. How do we know Quran is mutawatir? because today we can have a chit chat with Mr. Tree and then figure out from him. Just like, probably this Mr. Tree was simply getting the Quran from the checking it, actually not getting, but checking Uthman's Quran.
Yeah. Wow. This is funny. So they have a science called like the science of men, ilm al-rijal.
Yeah, I know.
So they need to have a new science, ilm al-ishjar, the science of the trees.
Yeah, like
So
tree is the one which is passing the word to Muhammad. A tree.
yeah.
See, science of hadith. And this is like, check out what it is. Sahih Muslim. Just wanted to ask you a practical question. So this gentleman whose lips were moving quite often, he was using certain terms for David Wood, like maskin or something.
Oh yeah,
What
that's
he
right. I was
said?
gonna comment on that. So miskin, it means like poor, like oh that poor guy, like miskin, like poor thing. So that's what he was saying. It's an Arabic term, but it's also used in his language in Urdu. So they use it as well. So I guess that's why he was saying it. He's like saying like oh this poor guy, like
Yeah,
you
poor
kind of
guy.
like
He doesn't know
yeah,
anything.
exactly, yeah.
Oh, well, what are your takeaways from this video, brother?
Well, thank you, David Wood, for giving us more and more opportunities to show why we cannot trust Muslim dawah guys. I was going to call them sheikhs or debaters, but he rejected both those titles. So, so you know, I think it's the more we look into their claims, because this is their propaganda. Like they tell people all of these things when they try to convert them to Islam. That the Quran can be traced back to Muhammad by this perfect chain, which we now know has a tree in it. So this tree, and then it has this perfect Arabic grammar, and then it has to conform to this one Uthmanic, mushaf, and no one else deviated from this. It has to fit it all within this one narrative. We see as we watch videos like this over and over and over again, we see that Muslims have to lie to make things up, to make things fit into their narrative, and they're not actually taking everything, all the facts on board, and they can't accept all those facts, otherwise it contradicts their narrative. It puts holes in the narrative.
You mean more holes?
More holes, yeah.
Brother, thank you very much for calling in and joining me. Really, really helpful. Um,
Thank you so much for having me, sister. God bless you.
God bless you. Just beloved ones, those of you who are watching, those are dawah gangs. Yes, they've got no good news. Yes, they know nothing about Islam. This is evidence. And they publicly think they can just like deceive, which I think they are able to get away with that. Please do pray that our crucified and risen Lord brings them in their knees. Yes, we can like get heartbroken, or like it causes me to just stumble just watching those videos. Therefore, I like it is very rare if I watch the videos. But at the end, we want them to repent and we want them to turn to Lord Jesus Christ, because it might be maybe they are good expert on what they do, how they lie, how they move their lips, but with that they are gonna end up in hell. So please do pray Lord Jesus Christ brings them on their knees, and pray for David Wood. It seems he's taking on the extra job to go and expose dawah gangs. And also pray for Brother Jay, who is on the line still. Brother, is there anything we can pray for you?
Well, I appreciate all of your prayers, and any sort of way you'd like to pray for me. I don't have anything specific, but any prayers from the brothers and sisters, I really appreciate. And I want to amen what you said, that is our goal, that is our heart, to see these Muslims, these dawah people, to repent and to come to Jesus. And we want to continue to pray for brothers like David Wood, people on the forefront, and pray for Sister Hatun, pray for DCCI Ministry, pray for all of the brothers and sisters, and thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. And also, if you haven't subscribed to Brother Jay's channel, please do so, because he's got very good content, so we can learn more from one another, and then we can serve one another better. With that all the note, I was expecting destruction, but that didn't turn up. So I was expecting a couple of people to just bang the door, but no, that didn't happen. So hopefully, by grace of God, we will see you tomorrow evening for Open Skype. God bless you all, and thank you very much for joining us tonight.